What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new to the channel too and want to hit the subscribe button, that would help me out immensely. By the title of this video and the next video, we will have essentially completed version 3 of the 700 horsepower R32 Nissan Skyline build. But before we jump into the install, a quick couple of updates from my absence. About 3 weeks ago, I finally got the Skyline aligned after our custom BC Racing coilover install. We just did a basic toe and caster alignment up front, and the Skyline rides absolutely amazing. We will be going back one more time to adjust the rear more. Essentially, we're going to bring in the rear camber to 0 degrees and then see what size tire I can fit in the rear. Currently have a 225/35 on a 10. It grips during normal street driving, but with us putting down 590 foot-pounds of torque, Skyline does not grip at all, so definitely need a bigger tire. And with the alignment being said, I have been driving the Skyline so much more, 2 to 3 times a week, and I have been abusing it to the best of my potential, shifting anywhere between or higher than 5 to 5,500 RPM just blows the rear end out. But of course that is on me and that will be fixed. But normal street driving is perfect. Even in this summer Arizona heat, the Skyline runs absolutely amazing. And I couldn't be any more stoked with all the progress that we have made. With today's install, we are going to essentially be solidifying the R32 build and also prioritize my safety and my passenger safety. And we're going to be doing that by upgrading the braking system up front. My car, or the Skyline, is an original GTST Type M, and it did come with the Sumimoto Z32 4-pot front calipers and the 2-pot rear calipers. When I had a booster, these were fine, but now we're pushing 700 horsepower and we're running Chase Bay's versions 2 brake booster delete kit, and it works, don't get me wrong. I definitely love the consistency of it, but not having that booster assist can tend to be a little bit skeptical, especially when I'm driving in traffic and someone brake checks me or pulls out in front of me. It definitely is a little bit skeptical. But going from say 50 to 10 is easy, but anything from 10 to 0 is again a little skeptical. So I would like, or I essentially spent the last 3 weeks and invested almost $4,500 product testing a big brake kit that'll work best for me. And if you're running my exact front suspension setup, it's going to be best for you. So if you didn't catch it in the last clip, I will be showing you how to build a high quality, budget-friendly big brake kit for the R32 Nissan Skyline GTST Type M, or doesn't even have to be a Type M. Most of the parts that I'm using are universal to, say, the S chassis and the Z chassis. You just need to buy the accommodating caliper adapter brackets. And again, I spent the last 3 weeks and north of $4,500 product testing and doing my research to make sure that this fits. The good thing is I bought most of these parts on eBay, so whatever didn't work, I just returned hassle-free and got all my money back. But again, I put in the time, so you don't have to. Introducing our high-quality Frankenstein big brake kit from left to right, starting with our calipers. I went with a Porsche 18Z caliper found off the Cayenne Turbo, or S model. I picked these up on eBay for less than $250 shipped, in great mechanical condition. Exterior wise, they're not the greatest, but I do plan on powder coating these in this video as well. But these are a 6-pot, great working condition, and like, these are humongous, guys. I'm pretty sure you can pick these up at your local junkyard too for less than $100. 18Z comes off the Cayenne S, Cayenne Turbo, the Audi Q7 for most years, and the Volkswagen Touareg. To help us mount these calipers to the Z32 R32 knuckle, we have our Z32 18Z adapter brackets from ECP, who also makes these for 3 other chassis, including the Z chassis and the Toyota chassis, like the Supra and the Aristro and others. I will leave the description to his website below. But these are awesome, of high quality. These are thick. These are not going to bend under immense pressure, hard braking. I believe I picked these up for $225 shipped. And then to accommodate our 18Z calipers on eBay, I did get a OEM 18Z caliper rebuild kit. Comes with gaskets, brake hardware, bleeders, and pistons, since I want everything to be brand spanking new after a powder coat. For this OEM, I picked up for $130 shipped. And the piece of resistance, we have our big, juicy rotor from Disc Brake Australia. I currently have these on the Skyline, and I swear by their superb quality. They have amazing heat displacement. You can run a 2-piece Z1 rotor as well. I believe it's a little bit more expensive, but it has even better heat displacement. I got a pair of front rotors from TF Works for, I think, $550 shipped. These are going to be the rotors you are going to need. These are 370Z sport rotors that accommodate the Brembo Accabono calipers. These are 355 mil by 32 mil. And I've already installed this before making this video a handful of times to ensure it works. But again, 250 shipped, 225 shipped, 130 shipped, and 550 shipped. That's a little over $1,000, but less than $1,500. Essentially, I was going to go with a 326 power front and rear big brake kit, but I was quoted a little over $5 grand, and I didn't know that they were going to work. But again, with this application here, this is a true bolt-on. Back in the garage, Skyline jacked up, wheel off, go ahead and remove the rotor. Set your brake caliper to the side, but don't undo the brake line yet. And a quick size comparison, look at this. 370Z Brembo Sport left, R32 GTST right. I think this is 276, 280 mil, and again 370Z Sport, 355 mil. A tremendous difference. Definitely have more surface for our pad to grab and less brake fade. Let's go ahead and mount up the caliper adapter bracket. All right, so here's all the hardware you're going to need. Go ahead and take a screenshot if need be. 16 mil, the lock washer, 12 millimeter by 1.25 millimeter by 55 millimeter, 12 millimeter bolt, 12 mil by 1.5 mil lock nut, more 12 mil lock washers, 12 mil flat washer, 16 by 1.5 mil lock washer, 16 by 1.5 by 60 bolts. I would probably go with a 50 millimeter instead, and then some additional 16 mil flat washers. Disclaimer again, this works for my particular setup. I am running a GK Tech drop knuckle, GK Tech S15 low control arm, bump stop, and tension caster arm. Everything is adjustable. It's another disclaimer. This works for my particular setup. If you are running the stock R32 knuckle, not Z32, but R32 knuckle, you will have to do some trimming. There's some like nipples behind the caliper lobe you'll have to grind down. And then also you're gonna have to grind down your lower control arm. I will send a picture of what my buddy did here. So yeah, if you don't want to do any of that grinding, definitely invest in the R32 Z32 GK Tech drop knuckle with the S15, S14 adjustable lower control arm. But here we have our ECP 18Z Z32 adapter bracket on. We have this mounted in front of the knuckle. So we have our 12 mil bolt, a lock washer, the bracket, the 12 mil flat washer, and then the locking nut. Definitely recommend the locking nuts, but in this particular demonstration, I'm not going to torque these to spec. I believe the top are going to be torqued to 120 foot-pounds with some blue and or red Loctite for extra security. And then the caliper bolts are going to be torqued down to close to 200 foot-pounds with some blue red Loctite. So with this bracket in, nice and secure, let's go ahead and throw on our 370Z Brembo Sport front rotor. Next step, go ahead and mount the 370Z front Brembo Sport rotor. Again, this is 350 mil by 32 mil, and it fits on the hub as it would OEM. I have my spacer on to help hold the rotor in place, and also I need this to fit my wheel. So now let's go ahead and mount the 18Z caliper to the Z32 18Z adapter bracket. All right, and now we have the caliper mounted. So just be a little bit patient when you're mounting the bottom hardware. So it's gonna go, caliper, you're gonna do your bolt head to the back side, then a washer in between the caliper and the caliper adapter bracket, and then another flat washer, and then your locking nut. This is what needs to be torqued down to a little over 200 foot-pounds. I just have this nice and tight. But as you can see, the brake dowels, you can see, sorry, they do not touch. But if you want to shape those down for some peace of mind, you can. They just hold the brake pad in. Just be sure not to be sure not to grind them down too much. But they are going to look a little offset, but that is okay. I don't have my pads yet, but I did go with a Hawk HP Plus. Those are going to work best for my application. They have a much better clamping force at low temperatures. But with everything installed, everything clears. What you're hearing is just the bearing. Super nice, but for me personally, I think I am going to shim down the brake pad dowels ever so slightly for my peace of mind, but that's really, there is to it. As you saw on my particular setup, GK Tech V2, R32 Z32, drop knuckle, S14, S15, adjustable low control arm, nothing hits. But let me go ahead and get you guys the leading right at full lock. All right, I'm trying to get in here guys, but this is my full lock and the bolt head barely touches the back end of the bump stop, which is okay. If you want to, you can shave down the bolt head ever so slightly or just make a different bump stock. But again, this is full lock for me, which is pretty aggressive. If you're running the stock knuckle, where the bolt head is, sits about 10 millimeters lower, and it does hit the lower arm. But looking good, guys. I'm super happy about this. Let's go ahead and now test fit the wheel. A little front action for you guys. Looks super sick. All right, got the work VSKF on, and it looks absolutely amazing, everybody. The Sport 370Z rotor fills in the wheel. Very nice, very aesthetically appeasing. And then with the big juicy 18Z 6-spot caliper, does it even more glory. So the caliper is bolted down pretty nicely. I guess prior to the install, I didn't have it seated properly or all the way in. Looks like I'm going to have to run a bigger spacer. The back of the face hits the brake pad mounting screw, and that's something I don't want to shave because this is the only thing holding the brake pads in. So I think I'm going to upgrade this 25 mil spacer to a 30 mil spacer, which should still give me pretty decent fitment. I shouldn't rub, but I'm trying to not go past -7 degrees of camber. But option B is to test fit one of the Mark II's Kawami. This is an 18x9 plus 20, and this is definitely BBK friendly. So let's go ahead and swap this out on the Skyline, and if anything, I'll just go ahead and swap the 2 tires out and save some extra money. All right, chat, what are we thinking? Work Emotion is on. My favorite wheel, even more favorite than the KFs. It looks absolutely amazing. 18 9.5J plus 20. No spacer, has plenty of clearance, definitely going to provide better brake airflow and or cool down, except for with the offset so small, wheel is hella sunken in. You know, I love how that looks. Doesn't mean I can't bring out like camber up front, but where it sits at now is pretty dialed in terms of alignment up front. But the emotions are much more practical. I'm gonna put some thought into this. Either run the wheel, swap the tires that are on the emotions, put them on the KFs, and vice versa, and or run a 30 mil spacer and run the KF. Only issue with that is it is going to protrude out a little bit more than what's sitting here now, which isn't too bad, honestly. But I'm really digging the look of the Kiwami. And just like that, all back to stock, which is why I love the ECP Z32 adapter bracket. Truly a bolt-on application. If you're running exactly what I'm running, again, the disclaimer, say you didn't like the setup or you need some extra cash or you're parting out the car, you can just unbolt everything, and if you have your OEM Sumimoto front calipers, you can just pop everything right back on. So at this moment in time, I'm currently waiting on some powder coat, which should be here within the next 2 to 3 days, as well as waiting on some brake pads. So as soon as we get those two in, I'll go ahead and send the Porsche calipers out, and these will look brand new. Fast forward the next 3 days, powder coat came in. Can now show you guys the new color. Skyline is prepped, ready for the reinstallment after we get the calipers powder coated. Front is all set up and torqued to spec. And I also red Loctited the ECP bracket, got all of the calipers off. Currently making 2 videos, hence why you see 4 rear calipers. But just take a look at these now. These are going to be completely transformed in the next, hopefully less than a week. Also gonna see if Tyler can powder coat the brackets for the strut bar the same color as my valve cover, which is Dirty Magic. That way everything corresponds and complements each other. And then also, once I install the front brake system and confirm that it works 110%, I will be selling my front Z32 setup. Got the Sumimoto front calipers in good condition. Pads are Hawk HP Pluses with plenty of life. And also I have the DBA slotted rotors for sale as well. I'll like to sell this all as a complete package plus shipping, but let me first confirm that everything works. So let's go ahead now and drop these off. All right, so it's been almost a couple of weeks since the last clip. Tyler has been incredibly busy with his business, and I'm not so sure when I'll be getting my calipers back, and I don't really want to prolong this video too much longer, and also I haven't posted a video in almost 60 days, so my algorithm has just been destroyed. And also too, we still need to rebuild the V18Z calipers, which I do want to show you guys in depth on how to do. Very simple, just requires some air tools and some patience. So I am thinking about making this install a 2-part series. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So on that note, guys, thank you so much for the continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel too, want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. We'll see you in part 2. Take care.